Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Excellence. I'm your host, Todd Baldwin, and today we have Chris Cline, owner of Lemus Remodeling Group. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me here.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being on. I'm excited to visit with you. So, Chris, before we dive in here, tell us a little bit about your company, where you're located, what you do, and what areas do you serve?
Yeah, so we're in Southeast Pennsylvania, right in Exton, PA, and we cover Southeast PA, Southern New Jersey, and Northern Delaware. So just getting into the exterior direct homeowner sales remodeling.
Yeah, so right now you guys focus on roofs and everything exterior. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, roofing, siding, windows, doors, the occasional deck.
Occasional deck. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we did a little prep call, and we were talking about the name. It has remodeling in there, so remodeling kind of gives you a broader scale to dive into the interior. Is that the hope or goal at one
Yeah,
time?
it's just something to leave on the table. We went back and forth about, again, this is a fairly new business, so about a year old, and we looked at Lemus exteriors, we looked at a couple different, ideas, and when we went with remodeling, it was just to give us that opportunity, give us that opening, just in case.
Yeah, no, I like that. It doesn't pigeonhole you to just exterior, right? So tell us a little bit about your story. I love talking to entrepreneurs. I'm always fascinated how people started their journey of owning a business. I know you've been in the remodeling side or exterior and all that for years, and now you've been able to start this business. I think you guys have been cranking for only about a year. Yeah, you've got 20 plus years of experience. So just tell us how you got started. Let's hear the story. I'm interested to hear how this all came about.
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, I got into this business very early age, around 17 years old, with a buddy of mine's father owned a glass shop. Started installing windows and mirrors and shower doors with, my buddy and his father. And I enjoyed it. So, when I graduated from high school, I went straight into contracting. I started working for a commercial company and doing some big commercial projects. And by 24, 25, I had already started managing some of those projects. I was a project manager for a commercial glazing company, and so, cruising along at that age, and just kept going with it. So. Around 2010, the commercial side was slowing down a little bit, so I looked into the residential again to kind of see what I could do over there, and I got real lucky. I started working for a company called Power Home Remodeling that essentially at the time was about 45, $50 million a year. Real solid company. They've been around for 20 years. I started as a project manager, and within a year I was a director there and eventually a vice president of operations. But what was awesome is I got the opportunity to open up 6 territories for them and, help grow that business to $600 million a year before I left. Now they're, amazing $1.5 billion company, really doing a great job over there. So, I learned a lot, man. That's where I cut my teeth. And then, I was able to transition from there to another company that was around $24 million. Really, again, another great company, been around 30 years, 35 years at the time, $20 million a year on average. And then we scaled that business from 24 million up to 120 million in 3 years. And, I said, you know what? I've done it twice. I've proved that on the operational side, and I did some sales management too, that I can do it. I want to do it for myself. And yeah, opportunity came in front of me with Victor Lemus, who runs Lemus Construction, which is our multifamily and commercial brand. And when we got together, we really put our heads together and we decided like we were going to take this on. And Victor has done an amazing job building his business and helping me guide me through the start of this business. And together we are, doing good.
You guys have been. Are you? at your 1 year mark, a little past 1 year, or
So no, we actually formed the LLC in May of last year. So we're like right there.
oh, you're a
I
year
sold
up?
my
Yeah.
first couple jobs in May. When we started in May, it was just me. In June, I hired my wife to help me run the business and keep everything in order. In July, I hired a really good friend of mine in the operational side of the business to kind of run that operation side so I could focus on sales, marketing, and obviously, keeping the lights on and all that stuff. And then, from there in August, we hired our first salespeople. So I hired four salespeople, call center person, and just got kind of going from there. And in the first year, calendar not full calendar year, just in the first year in 2025, we were able to put up a little bit over $1 million in 4.5, 5 months. So I felt good about it. It was a good
Yeah.
year.
No, that's awesome, man. To crank out a mill in 4 or 5 months, man. That's, you're moving. I'm curious, those 2 previous companies, man, that was some big growth, some big scaling. You said, 20 some odd million to what was it in 3 years?
24 million to about 120 million when I left PJ Fitzpatrick. And just an amazing experience. When you're part of a business with growth like that, there's something special going on there. There's something really cool. And it's a good place to be. And for me to have that happen twice in my career it was really cool. So
What are some, key points, man, that you think help scale at that rate?
yeah, I mean, so for me, I was focused originally on the operational side at both businesses. Scaling marketing and sales for the most part, and there's you got to have a real good strategy and those kinds of things. But there is a lot of you push the gas and you get more, right? But on the operational side, you got to be prepared. I will tell you this: when I started, with that company around 24 million dollars a year, they had a capacity of about $24 million, and they had just enough contractors to do what they had to do, and they had just enough people to measure what they had to measure, and make happen what they need to make happen. And we knew we wanted to scale the business, so I told them, I said, I need to scale that side of the business. So essentially, what I did is within 1 year, I had $120 million capacity, and we were only doing 50 million, right? So I
Yeah.
knew like you have to be prepared to do 120 at 50, and I have to be prepared to do 200, at 100. So by the time we hit $100 million as a business, we had the capacity to do 225 million as a business, and we were prepared to go because it's the only way to get there. So we, make a plan and stick to it, and and you know what? The biggest thing too, I think, is finding the right people. One thing that I learned very early on at the first big business that I worked with is the people around you really, really make a difference. And, finding just those right people, which is what I feel like I've done here very well. Everyone I'm surrounding myself with, I can count on to do it. And they all believe in where we're at and where we're going and, all that kind of stuff. So that's really like secret sauce right there is finding the right people and being prepared.
Yeah, we'll dive in. I want to dive a little bit into culture here in a sec. I'm just curious though, that first year, so just starting from ground zero, right? Nothing. I mean, focusing on residential versus, Victor being on the commercial side. Um, did anything jump out that was harder than you thought was going to be starting from
Oh,
scratch?
everything. Literally,
Yeah.
everything. Again, going from 20 million to 100 million, whatever, scaling a business is one thing. Creating a business, going from 0 to 100 is a completely different animal. And, if this, and I can only imagine that like it would have been twice as hard if we didn't have the backing of a business that's been around for 19 years, like really doing an amazing job. They're still generating income while we're, trying to figure everything out. So, not having that backing been twice as stressful. So 0 to 100 is tough, man. So for me, Pretty much everything, but specifically the hardest thing that I had a hard time with, because I manage sales teams, I manage production teams. I've done both jobs myself, and I've never really worked in the marketing world. So understanding, learning, and really diving into the marketing side of this business was difficult. And originally, my thought was to outsource it. I think you and I talked about that a little bit, and outsourcing marketing is very difficult. It takes almost more focus to outsource marketing and time and effort than it does to just do it yourself. So that was tough, man. That was and the return on investment, cost per lead, whatever you want to look at, can be a tough a tough lesson learned, an expensive
Yeah.
lesson learned too.
It can be. There's a lot of bad agencies. I mean, we're digital marketers, right? I mean, that's what we do, my company. But there's so many bad agencies out there that promise the moon, overpromise, underdeliver. It really gives the industry a bad name. I think it's interesting because most companies starting year one, they're not going to generate, $1 million in sales in 4 or 5 months, but they also just don't have the capacity or the cash flow to actually hire someone in-house to handle the marketing. Was that something Victor was able to help you guys with? Or I'm just curious, how'd you pull that off? Because
Yeah,
typically
we
it's just a cash flow. I mean,
sure.
we're not
Uh,
at that stage where we can have in-house. It's much cheaper to use an agency, and then actually get the right agency. But made you say, hey, how'd you pull that off?
Yeah,
Bring it
I mean,
in-house?
we were kind of back and forth whether we would outsource some of it and hire someone for some of it, and one of the things that helped is Victor wanted to continue to market his business as well. So our marketing team is somewhat of a shared marketing team. They're continuing to grow the brand of Lemus Construction at the same time of growing the brand of Lemus Remodeling. So you got guys on both sides creating content, going out there pushing, the digital platforms, and on top of all that, everything that goes behind the scenes, making sure that we're as high as we can be in all the different, Google Spaces and pay per clicks and everything else. So we did, yeah, we hired a couple people in house, and initially, for both sides, we ended up needing a second person, because it is for two businesses, and it was easy kind of separate the two, and it's been awesome. So the transition time was a little tough, but once that happened, you saw a pretty quick turnaround from what we were dealing with before, to someone who's actually focused on the business with the name. They're wearing the same shirt I am, right? Big difference for us, and we still look at outsourcing certain things, and I think it's a great thing, especially when you're first getting started. But having someone in your business that does it is it's awesome to have them with wearing your logo while they're making content and that kind of stuff. Big difference.
No,
So
that's
nothing
good.
against it, but
To be able to share the resources, so that's key.
yeah,
That's probably the main reason I bet you were able to do that. I tell people all the time, I mean, clients and so forth, they reach a certain level, they'll ask us, "Hey, we love working with you guys, but what do you think if we brought it in-house? What's your opinion?" I just tell them straight up, it's not a bad idea, right? I mean, at some point, if you can
can
hire
be.
and get the right people,
Yeah,
then yeah. I mean, we worked with, yeah, I think of a big irrigation company. I think I told you this, but we started them 2 or 3 million, but they grew to 35 million. But we still were their marketing agency for a lot of the Google pay-per-click SEO type
awesome.
of components. While they did a lot of it in-house as well, but they're like, "Hey, I don't have time. You guys are expert in this space so far. I don't want to keep up with Google and all that." So it can work both. You can do it in-house. You can definitely sub it, and then still, farm out parts of it, or however you want to call that.
Yeah,
Uh,
one mistake I made, Todd, just to kind of give you a heads
yeah,
up too, is because I was coming from some of these bigger businesses, and I knew the operations and sales side. I figured, all right, marketing. If I pay for the more expensive, the larger company, I thought
yeah.
I would get a better return, and I wouldn't have to manage it. And it was quite the opposite. So I have a good friend of mine that also does that kind of stuff. And in the interim, while we were switching, he did a better job than the larger company did. So I don't know a ton about the space, but I will tell you my experience only. Working with a smaller brand, or someone who's like yourself, who's going to owner, operator, manager, as opposed to these very large organizations organizations out there doing this,
Yeah.
I actually had a much better experience with that interaction and for that matter the ROI on it. So
Yeah, there's a lot of big, agencies that, in my opinion, way overcharge and underdeliver, and, it's interesting you brought that up because I agree with you. We've experienced that firsthand. We have a company that's in, I call it a one-off vertical because they're in the wound care space. We do a lot of home service type business. We love to stay in that lane, but we've had a lot of success with this business. They were around 10 million when we started working with them. They're 100 million now.
awesome.
But the interesting thing about that, I presented to them 3 different times over about 2 to 3 years. I even had 2 of my best friends, they were co-CEOs, and we still didn't get the business,
Yeah.
because it wasn't 100% they wanted their marketing team, but funny thing is they went with 2 big brand name agencies, the big shiny lights, and, they've told us all the time they just way underdelivered, they didn't perform, and here we are, this little boutique agency, and they love us. And I guarantee you, we're a lot cheaper. I don't know what they were paying, but I know we're cheaper than they were and
Yeah.
providing a better service. So I think that's a huge mistake that business owners make when it comes to marketing. They think, I got to go with the bigger agency, this and that, it'll be better. And a lot of times it's not. So I didn't even have to bring that point up on marketing. You did
Hey.
it for me, Chris. Appreciate that. But no, that's
That's one of those tough lessons learned, man, and
yeah,
one of
no,
those
it's very
expensive lessons learned too.
yeah, because they could just be way, way, way over they could just overcharge because they know, especially someone in this wound care space when they, um, I don't know, they just feel like, "Hey, this company's really moving and growing. We can charge them X, not based off what their services are worth, but just what they think they can get, right, from the company." But very interesting to hear that. I love that because I do believe there's a lot of truth. And just for our listeners, there are good big agencies too. I don't wanna act like
No,
there's not any good ones out there, but, don't always just go with the big shiny, agency. When you talk about, culture with your guys and all that being crucial, right? So what does it mean to do things right? What does that mean in your world over there at, Lemus Remodeling?
I mean, so excuse me. For me, I think it's very important that all the way down the line that the people that are, you know, with our customers or even potential customers are representing the brand the right way. And if they believe in, where we're going to go, what we're going to do, and as a business, where we're going to be in 5 years, 10 years, and so on and so forth, and they believe we're actually helping people, right?
Right.
If we can get out there and build relationships with our customers. One of the taglines that we have is trust Lemus for a lifetime, and it's not even about lifetime warranties. It's about when you did a roof, you called us and we did a great job. Call us back for your windows. Like, we want to be your contractor in your pocket forever, right? And our goal is to get out there, educate the customer, build relationships, and then give proof and proof over pressure, right? We're not a big pressure sales company, and at the end of the day, if our work's going to speak for itself, and hopefully they call us back. So, part of the culture side of that is finding the right people that that really do believe that they're gonna make a difference and they're gonna help people, because that's what we try to do. And, when I look at contracting, I look at it three different types of contractors for the most part. You got your Chuck and the trucks, your smaller contractors, and a lot of those guys do really nice work. They really do. I got a lot of buddies that do that. They run their own small businesses, and they're awesome, right? But there's a lot of small contractors that are out there that can take advantage of people, and we see it all the time online, taking money from people or just not doing nice work or whatever. So you got a 50-50 shot on the small side. On the big side, you're going to get taken care of. I work for those companies. They do an amazing job. There's no question about it. They will bend over backwards to keep you happy, but you're going to pay for it, right? And we like to fall right in the middle. And, because of all that, we are giving a service that's very similar to the larger businesses, if not, very, very comparable, and a product that's the same, for a reasonable rate. And, we may not be the same price as the smaller companies, but, we're certainly not the same price as the big companies. So, I personally believe that, because of that, we're providing a better service at a more reasonable rate. We want people to want to work with us. We want them to make that good choice and not have to roll the dice with another contractor. So, yeah.
What are non-negotiables in your company?
Good question. For me, I mean, it's right now, the business is very small. So, my wife works with me, JJ, who runs my production side. He has been with me for 10 years from both of those companies. He worked with
Wow,
me
yeah.
for 5 years at one and 5 years at another. So, pretty awesome, right? So he manages my production team. So, for me and him, we're lockstep. And then the same thing on the other on the sales side. I mean, a lot of the guys are fairly new. We do have one guy that was working with me for 3 or 4 years, and then the rest of the guys are pretty new. So when it comes to that, I'm fairly open on my sales process. Like I want things to go a certain type of way when it comes to making sure you get your commitments from the customers and those kinds of things. But I leave it open to them to use their own voice, right? Like so, my non-negotiables really is just making sure they show up, every time and give 100%. That's all I can ask of these guys.
Is there anything that jumps out as far as when it comes to culture that would be non-negotiables?
Yeah, I mean, so basically, like for me, when I hired all of these guys, like this is a team, and I talk about my previous experiences and where I expect this to go. So, again, I really want them to believe in where we're going and what we're doing, and if they can do that, there's really nothing. I haven't had any, issues where I've had to step in, and say, all right, this is not not acceptable yet, right? Because I honestly believe that the team that we've put together, is on the same page and all ready to go. So I haven't had to put the foot down and said, what's not
Yeah.
allowed, So
Yeah, I think, yeah, anything you've got such a just getting started with the company, so as it grows and, you really get the culture dialed in, there's always you kinda know what that person you're looking for, right? And I
yeah,
guess not there's certain types, hey, that's a red flag. I don't
yeah. I
want
mean, I've
to.
been hiring people for close to 20 years now.
Yeah,
I hired for two very large businesses that were growing, and specifically the first business that I worked for, I did about 20 25 interviews a week for
yeah,
7 years. And so and as that business was growing, it was growing, and we were all over the country doing interviews. I did interviews in 15 different states, and doing that, you learn a lot, and really for me in particular, I think it's not even necessarily, just someone's background that's going to tell you what they can and can't do in an interview, or for that matter at work. Personally, if you look at my background, you look at my paperwork. Before I started at these businesses, I was just a contractor with not a lot of skills and no education. So
sure,
here we are, right? So
yeah.
when I'm meeting someone, I'm really looking at like their culture, their potential for success, and the way that they handle themselves, and their attitude and those type of things. And we've really have just we've done an awesome job finding the right people.
That's good, man. That's key. I'm curious. We dive in, talk a little bit about marketing. I'm a marketer, so I like to talk marketing. How were you guys what were you getting your leads from in those early months to generate 5, 6, in 5 to 6 months, 4 to 6 months, you should generate like $1 million in sales or a little over a million. I know you can do pay per click and get, leads immediately, but I mean, you doing door knocking, you doing direct mail, you doing just pay per lead, like pay per click. What
So,
are you doing?
a large portion of the leads, the first year came from Lemus Construction. And
Okay.
part of the reason why this business even came together in the first place was Lemus Construction was getting a lot of calls, in and around their neighborhoods. They were doing larger projects for that people wanted their services, right?
Okay.
So he wanted to do this. He wanted to get out there and do it, but he was very busy managing, him and Mario both managing the commercial side of the business. Is very difficult, to do both. This is smaller projects take a little bit more focus, and need a little bit more quick attention, right? So for that being said, the when I first started here, I had a backlog of people that wanted their services, so that was kind of nice to start with. Of course, we
Okay.
ran through those pretty quickly, and we sold a lot of stuff. And within the first 2 months, I think I sold $350,000 worth of those projects. It was quick, which was awesome. And then right after that, I mean, we really started working with that large marketing company, mostly Google, mostly pay per click. We did pay for leads, of course. Like I did some sources where we're paying for some of the paid services and whatnot. So far, I haven't found any that have any magic bullets or anything yet. So I won't name any names, but for me personally, it wasn't ideal. And then we did some direct mail. And pretty much anything else I can get my hands on, Val packs, that type of stuff. So and for all intents and purposes, it was really just like, going out there. We closed in the first 6 months, we closed like 60% of the jobs that we went out to. It was pretty high. I
Yeah.
was running a lot of leads early on, and I really focused on trying to make the customer as happy as possible and just make sure everything goes as smooth as possible. And we closed, it was close to like 65% of the appointments we went on. Towards the end of the year, we ended up closer to 45%. Started this year right around the same space. So we're still closing right where we need to. Everything's doing good. But as far as marketing goes, like that was, sort of we were up in the air. We tried a lot of different things to see what worked.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you had a lead channel or lead funnel from Lemus Construction. I'm assuming those leads you'll still have a lead funnel from them because
We
there's
do.
still those,
Mhm.
yeah, that still state
We
activity.
probably get two a week, 2 or 3 a week. Nothing crazy, but it's definitely people still call over there looking for work, and then they send it over to us, and we take care of it. So
How was it when you had to just peel back all the it's no longer working for $100 million company and I gotta go put my sales hat on just like I was,
yeah.
20 some odd years ago to hit the street. And what was that experience like?
I enjoy it. I can't even begin to tell you it was difficult because I enjoyed it so much. Working in an office for me is not always the most fun part of my day. Getting out
Yeah.
and meeting people. I actually like doing the events too. We did some events. We get out home shows, trade shows, those kinds of things. Like just getting out and meeting potential customers is probably the best part of my job. So for me, like when I get to get out with the guys in the house, it's fun. There's
Yeah.
not stressful at all.
That's what I can relate because I say I'm a relationship builder. I'm not, I tell clients all the time and I still involved I don't do all the sales, but I like talking to clients. I like building relationships. But if I am in a sales call or whatnot, I tell them, hey, I'm not the one that's going to be running your campaign. You don't want me to run the campaign.
Yeah,
I got to have smarter people than that, than
yeah,
me. But no, I enjoy, I've been doing it forever. I think once you kind of have that sales mentality, it never really goes away and you do enjoy
yeah.
it because it's just what we do.
I kind of fought it for a while. I was a production guy, installed, then I was a foreman, a project manager, a director, a VP of operations, those type of things. And I fought it for a long time. But in those businesses, you started to realize I was doing so much sales anyway. Like I'm out here selling the business to people when I'm doing interviews. I'm out there meeting, upset customers and reselling the business, and I'm selling all day long in operations. And I'm like, man, I think I could do this on the sales side a little bit better. I go out and I do it, and it starts working. And then I'm like, all right. So I actually moved over to sales management at the last company and had a great time.
Yeah.
It worked out well for me. It fit my management style. My management style, for me at least, is coaching and guiding and like pushing people to do better. And on the operational side of the business, like that works, but there is like a lot of the, more, you have to do this, you have to do that. In sales, it's all about the mentality of the person that's out there doing it. And I found that side of the business just worked better for the way that I, push my team. So
Yeah. No, it's all resonates with me, man. I've been in the sales world for 20 plus years. Back in the day, I cut my teeth selling yellow page advertising right back in the day. So
nice.
I'm dating myself, but Um, back then, we did everything in person, right? And so be out in the field all day, and I loved it because I don't like sitting at a desk all day. Now I'm in front of this computer, and we have clients all over the country, so it's
Yeah,
all virtual. And every once in a while, we have clients in DFW, but even then, you're just used to doing Google Meets. But every once in a while, I'll get out and actually go do something in
yeah,
person. And it's like forgot how much I like just getting out of the office and driving to see somebody.
yeah, for sure.
So what looking going forward? Well, also I'm just curious. So I'm gonna make it up. I mean, I hope that we keep in contact after this podcast, but I want to keep contact with all my guests. But I'm really curious. I'd love to talk to you like 12 months down the road. and talk about the in-house marketing experience, and then
Yeah.
really figure out, hey, what's really working for you guys now? You know, you're trying as a new business everything, right? Just get your
Yeah.
name out and hey, let's see if this will work. And then we go 12 months down the road. It'll be interesting. We'll make a note to follow up with you, Chris. But like, what's working, right? And
Yeah.
what's the benefits of having it in house? It'd be really interesting to have that follow up.
Yeah,
Uh,
so just to put this in a stamp for today, we started canvassing yesterday as a company. So we were literally yesterday, like our first team went out there and got their first canvassing lead yesterday. So we will be doing some canvassing,
is
and I
canvassing, or
think
you meaning like out in the street, like feet on the
door knock.
street, door
Yep, yep,
knocking? Yeah,
yep.
because I talked to a guy, big. You might have listened to his podcast, Carney, up in your area, but he said door
Okay.
knocking is still one of his best lead channels.
I think it's gonna be a phenomenal lead channel for 2026. Like, I come from it's really weird. I come from both of the businesses that I come from that grew, they do the exact opposite marketing, which is wild, and they both had amazing success. The first company was almost a sole, what I call face-to-face marketing. So,
Yeah.
pretty much anything that way, whether it's home shows or door to door or BJ's or Costco or something. Like they're in face to face with people, right? And they did very little actual outward advertising. No flyers out, no coupons, nothing, right? And then the next company that I worked for was almost 100% outward marketing, like direct mail, TV ads, radio ads, et cetera, et cetera, and some paid leads and whatnot, but zero canvassing. They don't even go to the home shows, and which there's 1,000 contractors at the home show. It's crazy that this company that's over $100 million just doesn't even touch it. And when I built this business on the marketing side, from day one, I fully expected to have a canvassing team at some point and get about 50% of my leads from each side. So going into the first year without a canvassing team, I knew I had a crutch, and I wouldn't have been able to, I wouldn't be able to generate any leads that way, just because I didn't have time to build a sales team, build a brand, and build a canvassing team and get these. It just wasn't going to happen. So I knew the timing was going to be this spring, and we were able to launch it, and essentially our first class was done this week, and they're out there today, and we've got a few people out there, and I'm hoping I come back and I say canvassing is amazing, right? In 6 months,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's I still get I still see them out there in our neighborhood. They're still knocking on doors. It tells me I need. They look at my house, like, guy needs a roof. I'm like, no, I know I do. I was about to say, I know it. State Farm won't claim the darn roof. So,
yeah, there's
but
your problem.
yeah, yeah, they're like knocking, like, yeah, this thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I've been trying to get a new roof for a while, but that's a whole nother story dealing with the insurance side of the house.
Sure.
Uh, I'm just curious, as we go into year two and 2026, 2027, what are you most excited about at the
Honestly,
in-
just creating opportunities for people. So,
yeah,
for me, one of the things that I learned over the years is as businesses grow, when you can put someone else into your place and continue to grow the business up, it just creates so much more upward mobility for people. Like I had mentioned before, the guy that had worked with me at both companies before, never really got a shot to be able to like take that seat and to take that lead. And when I was able to hire him as the director of all operations for the entire business, he took a leap from project manager to, and I know he has the potential to do it, and he's already done a phenomenal job in the last 8 months, 9 months, and to be able to put him into that position is what I personally enjoy. And at the end of the day, is if everything goes the way that it's supposed to, we're gonna generate a really cool business here, and we're gonna have a lot of people that want to work here. We're gonna create opportunities for people, create jobs for people, and on the way, we're gonna help a lot of homeowners and make some happy customers too.
yeah. I think one of the best things about being a business owner is taking care of your people, and then just giving them an opportunity to enrich their lives, right, and do better and all that jazz. So I'm right there with you too. That's another thing that resonates with me. Um, I'm curious, kind of off topic. Are there any podcasts out there that you listen to that you like to share with us? If you
Um,
listen to podcasts?
I'm not a big, podcast guy, but I
What
did
books? Any good
yeah,
books?
well, I do read a ton of books, as you can
I
see.
see that. I see
Uh,
Good to Great back there. I see some of those. I've got
uh
some of those same books in my shelf over
Yeah,
here.
you're good to great's pretty classic, traction, there's a
Yeah.
couple back there. But as far as like the podcast go, I've recently started to get into it a little bit just because I was approached to do a podcast with Greg Cummings from Power 100, and they do rankings of all different types of specifically exterior modeling companies, specifically privately owned, no private equity. And doing that podcast really kind of opened my eye to that world and exposed it. And then it's having the conversations with you and seeing the potential and the benefit of it. To be honest with you, is bringing attention towards positive attention towards the business. So yeah, I'm definitely starting to look into it more. But no, no other than everyday excellence and Power 100 so far. That's
Well,
my
you listen to. Okay. Hey, I'm in the top two.
yeah,
That's
that's
good. Yeah.
perfect.
Well, I got like a disclaimer. Like I said, I'm not a. When I first met you, I'm not a professional
That's all
podcaster.
right.
Just something we just started doing in January. But what about a favorite quote or one line that you use or like? I'll give you an example. I actually steal this from John Hewitt, who was the founder of Jackson Hewitt Tax. He was a guy I did a podcast from. I got recommended from Carney actually, but he says, "If it is to be, it's up to me." And
Yeah.
so I thought that when he said that, I said, I really like that. If it is to be, it's up to me. Meaning, hey, you got to go out there and create yourself. That's one of his big things about entrepreneurs. Anything jump out at you that you can share, Chris?
So one of that I had early on, had it on my wall when I first started working for the large company was if each of us would only sweep our doorstep, the world would be clean. And I believe it was Mother Teresa. So
Really?
a strange place. It's not a business thing, but at the end of the day, like I do believe that if everybody here does what they're supposed to do, and everybody comes to the table and I do what I'm supposed to do, so one of the first things that I did with my team across the board when everybody first started is I set expectations and I asked them. I said, "What do you expect from your manager?" Right? Like, what do you want from me? How do you want me to support you? Right? And I do this with every team I've ever had at any business I've been at, and it works because they're going to tell me what they're looking for. Right? They're
Sure.
going to tell me what they want from me as a manager. Like, nobody wants to be micromanaged. Everybody wants somebody who supports them, but also trusts them and this and that. Right? So, okay, well, if I do all these things for you, this is what I'm going to ask of you. I'm going to ask you to show up on time. I'm going to ask you to do what you're supposed to do, so on and so forth. And that's how it all works, right? So you do your job very well, and I promise you, I will do mine for you, right?
I like that. Yeah. You get some buy-in, right? From the get-go,
Yes.
from people in your team and so forth. So last question for you, and I'll let you go. We've gone a little long, but I've been enjoying visiting with you. Out there, what advice would you give to that young entrepreneur ready to go out and for the world?
Honestly, if you have the opportunity to, which everyone does, but if you are on the fence about taking that opportunity, I say just do it. I wish, honestly, 100%, I wish I would have done that at a very young age, and then I would have been talking now about all the different things that I had done. But working for a company was amazing too, and doing it at 43 last year was fun. But definitely the sleepless nights and emails at midnight, not as easy when you're in your 40s as they were in your 20s. So if you got the opportunity to, man, do it. And if you got I think Mario said it in his podcast when you did it a few months ago. If you got to sleep at the office, you got to put a bed in the corner. I got, something here to brush my teeth, to cut my hair, whatever I got to do, it's here
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I spend enough time here to make sure that the business is running. So if you're going to pour your whole heart, your soul, and everything into it, it will work. There's nothing, no question about it. So just do it. Take
do
take
it,
the leap.
man. Nike, just do it.
I've heard
Well,
so many
kudos to you.
businesses start from 2 grand, from 2,500, from this, like,
Yeah,
and go into millions and millions of dollars. Actually, the podcast you said with Carney, he said he started with 2,500 bucks in his bank account, and
yeah,
he was 20 something years old, and that's a
yeah.
phenomenal story. It's just such a cool story. So
Well, what resonates with me, I keep saying the word resonate. I'm going to have to come up with some new words, but what stuck out is that at 43, you said, "Man, I've done this now X amount of years for other people. I'm going for it." And what I find when people hit that age or a certain age and have a lifestyle they've created because of success working for other companies, that's really a lot of the main roadblock. Because I've said it once, I said it a million times.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur until it's time to jump, right? Meaning jump off the cliff. And when you get to that edge, it's really scary because now there is no security blanket. You have to make you are the security blanket for your team. And so kudos to you, Chris, for taking that leap of faith, man, at that age and saying, "Hey, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go do this. I know I can do it." And you're already off to a great start, man. People wish they could sell $1,000,000 in
I,
4 or 5 months.
I know you're gonna wrap up, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that the support that I get from my wife and thinking when I was leaving you know big company, making decent money, doing my job, and like you said, leaving that cushy spot to go to do something like this, that could potentially blow up or whatever, or maybe I don't know everything that I thought I did or whatever, right? All that stress, right? So all those thoughts. I had that person, at home saying like, "You can do this," right? And
Yeah,
her pushing me and guiding me and kind of helping me when I was stressed or I didn't think I could do it, was a huge push. If I didn't have the right support at home, I would have never been able to make
great
the move
point.
that I did. So
Man, if you don't have the right support at home, it's no win, no win proposition. I mean, but that is so true because yeah, you've got so much on your plate. You've got to have, your wife or spouse, significant other, have your back and supporting you 100%. Otherwise, it would never work. I was right there with you. But man, Chris, it's been great to chat. I'd keep talking to you because like I said, I like talking to entrepreneurs, but
thank
we'll
you.
wrap it up for all our listeners. Tell us where they can find out more about Lemus Remodeling Group.
Yeah, so golemus.com. It's pretty straightforward with us. And again, we're Southeast PA, focused on exterior remodeling and really just trying to help everybody we can on that space.
If they want to hook up with you, LinkedIn a good source to find you, Chris?
Yeah, I have a LinkedIn. Chris Cline's a pretty popular name, but if you throw Lemus in there with it, you should be able to find me.
Okay. Hey, man, great to chat. Thanks for sharing your story with us. I've had a really good time chatting with you and hearing about the success. I'm excited to check in down the road and see how year two has gone as well, and how that canvassing went, and then how that marketing's treating you as well. But I know you guys are going to crush it. So take care, man. Great to
Thank you.
chat with you.
All right, thanks.